Actually, I lived through all of it, so I didn't have to do any research at all. It was really convenient. I'm very well preserved. Now, actually, well, in terms of travel, I didn't do any traveling. I've been to Germany, I've been to London, I've been to France, and that's basically where the book is set. But for the book, I didn't do any traveling. I just read a ton, or listened to things, or watched things. And it was fascinating. The problem for me with a book like this, and I think for a lot of writers, is the research is so much fun that actually writing is not much fun. And so the good thing about research is you can say, I'm really doing work because I'm doing all this research, but eventually you have to write something. And then the other thing is you have to, it's tricky because when you've done all that research, you have this whole world in your head, and you have to figure out how to compress it so that it, the reader isn't like, another half hour on World War I. And that's a real battle. That's tricky. And the balance is between too much and not enough. And whether I got it right or not, I don't know. But I went back and forth with my editor a lot on that. In fact, one of the things she said, a lot of people just don't know anything about World War I. World War II is okay, but World War I, and she's right, because I teach a course I love. It's called Introduction to Literature for Non-Majors. And it's a fantastic course. I always have really good students in it. But we often do stuff on World War I, and I'll at the beginning I'll say, we're going to have a quiz, and I'm not going to grade you on it, but just to answer these questions. When was World War I, and who fought, and what were they fighting over? And in my most recent class, one of my best students turned in a quiz, and she said, World War I was fought from 1861 to 1865, and she said, and I think the North won. And so my editor wanted me to put in a ton of research at the beginning about World War I, like this paragraph or a prologue. World War I was actually not 1861. And I thought, if somebody opens this and it says World War I was, they're going to put it down, and so that didn't work. So then we tried to, work it into the dialogue in the opening scenes, and it was like, well, Horst, did you know that World War I? And that didn't work real well either. So finally I said, you know what? They invented the internet for this book, okay? So if somebody doesn't know when something is, they can go and look it up. And I hope there's enough and not too much. The research was a lot of fun. I still have all these bizarre little facts floating around my head. So if you're ever interested sometime, give me your number. I'll call you at 2 in the morning and tell you something peculiar.